Welcome back to the Weeknight Mysteries podcast. This is another podcast episode of your probably not a favorite podcast, but you somehow still listen to us.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I'm here with Rain.
Hello, everyone.
How
Once
are
again,
you?
hello. And I'm completely okay. How are you?
I'm good. Tell the audience what are we gonna talk about?
Yeah, so this is something different from our usual one. Like usually we would focus on missing people, like lost people, disappearance, weird disappearance. But today we're gonna talk about something else, something more, I would say, supernatural, paranormal, weird, mysterious.
The
Monster.
The Enfield Monster.
Yeah.
The Enfield Monster is a unidentified creature which has been witnessed by allegedly a few people back in 1973 in the month of April in Illinois. You know, Illinois, the state of Illinois.
Illinois.
Yeah, Illinois. I think it's Illinois.
Illinois. I believe.
It's Illinois.
Illinois.
I mean,
Without the S.
on Wikipedia it's with the S, so
I think it's pronounced as Illinois.
well,
Either way,
Either
in
way.
the US.
either way, what's gonna happen? I mean, I'm not
true.
from there. I'm sorry. Anyways, so yeah, the Enfield Monster. The Enfield Monster is a weird three-legged entity that apparently showed similarities to like a kangaroo. Some people speculated, some other people speculated it could be like some sort of an ape-like creature, and it had terrorized a family in Enfield. And Enfield is this little town in Illinois. And yeah, I guess we're going to be talking about it. I never heard about this one before you brought it up.
Yeah, I just read about it somewhere and thought it would be a good idea to
No,
talk
you
about
didn't.
it. Yes, I did.
Didn't you find it on ChatGPT?
I said I read it somewhere. I read it in ChatGPT.
Okay.
I was Googling like mysterious, weird, supernatural cases.
Yeah.
And found this one.
Okay. Okay, so I guess it's still true since you pulled out the Chat
Yeah.
GPT. But yeah, so ChatGPT suggested this one, so we're talking about it. I mean, none of us ever heard about it, and it's an interesting change for me personally from going into the because I was very like comfortable like talking about missing people cases or like unsolved murders, and we're definitely coming back to those topics. But yeah, wanted to add something more paranormal and think about, is this a real thing that happened or is this complete craziness?
Yeah, let us know how it goes.
Yeah, well, I don't know what happened.
No, I meant like tell us the whole story.
Okay, yeah. So let's start with the initial sighting. So first of all, where is this happening? Enfield. Enfield is in the southern part of Illinois. So it's actually closer to, well, it's not like it's close to Chicago or anything like that. It's like in the southern part of Illinois.
Seems like it's in the middle of nowhere, honestly.
Illinois? I would say it's kind of like in the middle of nowhere. The closest towns you have is St. Louis, which is already from Missouri, I believe. And then you have another city called Louisville, which is, I think, already in Indianapolis. Oh, sorry, Indiana.
Oh, so it's in the middle of both states, I guess.
No, it's still in Illinois for sure, but
It seems like it's in the middle of like midway of St.
Yeah.
Louis and Louisville.
oh yeah, definitely.
Right.
So it's kind of somewhere there, and it's the 70s, and it's a rural town. They do have a railroad going through it. I tried to kind of look around on Google Maps and Google Street View a little bit about the town to see what's up. And honestly, it seemed like a very small town that doesn't have a lot of things happening there. So everything happened on April 25th, which was a Monday. We have the main witness, the person who basically started this whole, Enfield Monster topic. His name is Henry McDaniel. So this is a man who reported to police the sighting. He reported that on April 25th, which was a Monday, at about 10 p.m. in the in the evening, he heard a scratching sound at his front door. So there are, I guess, two types of storylines, or not storylines. What am I saying? There are two types of there's varying accounts of various descriptions of this account that Henry McDaniel reported. So one source says that he apparently just heard some scratching sounds on his front door, and he went to like check it out, what's happening. There is another source that I saw that claimed that Henry McDaniel and his wife had first returned home on Monday, maybe from work or something like that. And their two children, Lil and Henry, they actually approached them and they said that something had tried to get into their house and they were scratching the door. And right after this, apparently Henry McDaniels, he went out to see what's happening at the front door. So he looked out and he saw something that he thought might be a bear. Well, he was thinking that it could be a bear or something like that. So he took a gun and a flashlight. He headed outside into a strong wind and saw a creature between two rose bushes. This is when he opened the door, apparently. He later said that the creature had three legs on it, a short body, two little short arms, and two pink eyes as big as flashlights. Could you imagine? It stood 4.5 feet tall, was grayish colored, almost like a human body. And another source states that Henry was completely mortified by the sighting of this horrible apparition, and he slammed the door. Then he went back and picked up his 22 caliber pistol and the flashlight. He came back again through the front door, and there it was. The monster was still there. And we have
Was
some,
still there.
yeah.
So it didn't run away.
I don't know. I think he honestly, I was trying to kind of understand exactly what's happening. So some sources claim that, well, one source, I think the Wikipedia, they just mentioned that Henry McDaniels heard the screeching sound on his front door. He then got his gun, he opened the door, and then he saw the monster. There was another source, I think a more detailed source. I forgot exactly where I found that information from, but that one claimed that he first saw it. He was like so weirded out by this creature. Then he went upstairs or something like that to pick up his pistol, and then he came out and it was still there on the front door.
I'm actually surprised because I thought he saw it for a split second and then it was gone.
No, no, no. He actually saw it and he shot at it.
Oh,
He shot 4 times.
4 times. Okay, that's way longer than I expected.
Way longer?
Way more. I meant the time of him seeing the apparition was way longer than I expected. I thought it's gonna be like half a second, and then he told everyone, "Oh, I've seen a monster."
Oh, no. Well, you probably read a little bit of a different source or something. Either way, we have a few images of how the, I guess, monster could have looked like, and there are like drawings. Do you see them here in the file? Can you describe what you see here, or like what do you think about him?
Man, okay, that's a tough challenge. Okay, I could see. Well, it's not a real thing. Okay, I'm just gonna say it looks like a kangaroo.
It looks like a kangaroo.
Kangaroo with one hand, one arm. Like a grayish kangaroo with red eyes.
Red eyes, and it looks more like a creature that's not found on anywhere else on the planet. Actually,
Definitely, yeah.
but
It looks like it has a little bit of like scales on its back.
yeah, I don't know exactly who made this painting or like this drawing or anything like that. If they ever like aligned it with Henry, because Henry McDonald's is the main.
It looks like a deformed kangaroo with a dinosaur and a kangaroo get together, have a baby that's deformed.
Okay, that's a great description of it.
Really?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
we're definitely going to be showing this on the YouTube channel. So if anyone's curious exactly what we're talking about, or you could just Google it, actually, it's probably easier. The Enfield Monster, you'll see what we're talking about. So Henry McDaniels initially fired 4 shots at the creature, and one shot actually hit it, causing it to make a hissing sound, much like a wildcat's. And then afterwards, apparently, it fled towards a nearby railway embankment. And the strangest part was that it apparently covered 50 feet, which is 15 meters, in 3 jumps. And yeah, that was strange. 50 feet in 3 jumps.
Yeah, that's not normal.
It's not normal because I remember back in high school, we had to do these jumping exercises. And I remember like jumping like I don't know, like 2 meters was already crazy. I don't think
Oh
you can do it.
wow.
Yeah, I don't think you could do 2 meters in general.
Mm-hmm.
So this thing was doing like 5 meters per jump. So you have to understand like how crazy this is.
Mm-hmm.
The creature bounced away in long leaps across the yard, eventually becoming lost to McDaniel's sight. And as it made its way towards the railroad and into the cover of the trees. Henry McDaniels called the local authorities, who discovered footprints in the soft earth near the house, which Henry McDaniels described as dog like in shape with 6 toe pads. We have 6 toe pads. Do you know any animals that have 6 toes? Because I don't know any animal that has 6 toes.
Yeah, no, not that I know of. No.
Police considered Henry himself to be rational and sober in his reporting of the incident. Upon investigation, the state troopers discovered a series of scratches in the siding of the house and footprints that were very similar to a dog's, but having 6 toes instead of 4. So it's like it can't be a dog, right? There's no six like toed dogs.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Maybe what do you call that? Those animals with extra limbs.
Extra
Maybe.
limbs?
Yeah, extra toes.
Okay, I mean, I don't know exactly what you're
Uh,
talking about, but
yeah, I'm just making some
oh yeah,
random thoughts
oh okay.
out loud.
In a later press interview, Henry McDaniel said if they don't find it, they will find more than one and they won't be from this planet. I can tell you that. So he legit said if they do find it, they will find more than one and they won't be from this planet. I can tell you that. So Henry's telling now the media that he, for some reason, thinks there's going to be found more than one specimen and they're not going to be from this planet. So basically, aliens. 2 of the tracks were 4 inches wide, while the print left by the third foot was smaller. So it seems like 2 of the feet may be bigger than the third foot. Many of the police force were skeptical about what McDaniels had seen that day. I don't know exactly what they were thinking about, but apparently none of most of the police people they were like thinking that he probably seen something strange there.
Yeah, me too. Honestly.
What are your thoughts so far about the McDaniel sighting?
Well, when I first read about the title and briefly into the story, I was so intrigued. I thought it was real, but the more we dive into it, I kind of get more and more convinced that
It's fake?
it could have been something else, like just an animal.
Okay.
What do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's why we're having a discussion. Honestly, it sounds crazy to me, this sighting
Yeah,
so far, but I guess we could keep going.
let's go for it.
So I found a little bit more information about the sighting from a newspaper, from an old newspaper. I can't exactly tell you what newspaper this is from, because I only have one snippet of it. I found it online. It gives a little bit more information about Henry McDaniels and would he be a person that would just completely lie about such an encounter? So Henry McDaniels, I'm just reading the newspaper here. So he says that he shot and wounded a monster on his doorstep and is worried it may come back to get even.
I somehow doubt it, and it never actually happened.
Well, he saw it again then.
Wait, what?
There was a second sighting. Yeah, I'm gonna walk it through it in a bit. Henry McDaniels is a 50-year-old man He said that he had just returned home from a meeting Wednesday night when he heard something scratching on his door. It had three legs on it, he said, a short body, two little short arms, and two pink eyes as big as flashlights. It stood 4.5 to 5 feet tall and was grayish colored. It was trying to get into the house, he said. So it was actually trying to get into the house. That's interesting. McDaniels himself is an antiques dealer, said he slammed the door and grabbed a pistol and a flashlight from the dresser in his bedroom and returned to the front door. So, another point here to mention, I kind of saw a few other people talking about this case, and they said that Henry McDaniels was actually a fairly reputable guy. Like, he wasn't this, weird person in town that, like, he wouldn't be the stereotypical crazy guy to make up this story. So that's why this was maybe picked up by the media and kind of, it became this huge frenzy because this guy apparently was credible. He was an antiques dealer. I mean, I don't exactly know what they do all day, but I believe they just, sell like old stuff. So he has to have some sort of accountability and
Maybe he's
precision.
one of the bidders. Like, there's something antique and he would bid on it.
He would buy
Maybe.
it. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. And then he also had a family. He had two kids and a wife. So, he had definitely a stable life situation. So it would be very strange that this stable guy from a small town would just start making stuff up. So he further on goes on to tell his story. He apparently, when I fired that first shot, I know I hit it. So he's very confident that he did end up hitting the monster. Apparently, he shot 4 times in total. The creature gave out a hiss, he said, much like a wild cat's, judging from his imitation of the sound. Covering 50 feet in 3 jumps, it fled through some brush along a railroad embankment that runs near the McDaniels home. State police, summoned by the frightened McDaniel, arrived too late to spot the creature, but discovered its tracks in the soft earth about the home. McDaniel said that the track was like a dog's, except that it had 6 toe pads. One of the troopers, James Master, said that McDaniels appeared rational and sober, so he wasn't like drunk or anything like that. And his kids saw it as well. So, and I bet his wife did. It's kind of strange that his kids or his wife is never mentioned in the story, even though I think they are real people, obviously. But their accounts have never been put forward. I
Yeah,
couldn't
that's
find
interesting.
anything.
And
Because
I wanted to know what the kids would say as adults, like
exactly,
grown ups.
yes. Because I mean, they've seen it as well. I
Uh
mean,
huh.
it just crossed my mind right now. Maybe someone should really like try to look up the kids or something. They could find the kids, maybe ask them a few questions.
Maybe we will if we go big.
Oh man, I don't know if they're still around. I mean, oh, they're probably around
1970s.
73. Yeah, they're probably older. They're like way older than us now.
Definitely,
But
of
maybe they
course.
could still, share some light on this topic. McDaniel said he was sure it wasn't a dog and was positive it wasn't a kangaroo because he said that he once had a pet kangaroo while he was serving with the Australian Army. Well, he was in the army serving in Australia, not with the Australian Army, with the United States Army, but he was just stationed in Australia. So apparently, this guy even had a pet kangaroo, which is interesting, and he was able to distinguish that that was definitely not the kangaroo that he saw at night. He was sorry, yeah,
I have a question.
of course.
Do they even have kangaroos in the US?
I don't think that they have kangaroos like
But it could have been like,
naturally, but
yeah,
but I think people own kangaroos as pets there,
that's pretty weird.
and I feel like there's probably a zoo with some
Yeah,
kangaroos
definitely.
everywhere. So I think naturally, obviously, kangaroos I think are only in Australia, probably. But I think there are some kangaroos physically in the states for sure.
Interesting.
I'm not exactly sure if it's legal to own a kangaroo. I would find it pretty strange, like a pretty strange pet to
Right.
have. But I mean, people like strange pets sometimes.
Actually, come to think of it, I'd never heard of a kangaroo that's been seen outside of Australia, so this is a new one for me. Do we have it here?
No, of course we natively don't have any kangaroos,
No, I
but
meant like in the zoo or something.
I think they do have something. They probably have a kangaroo in the zoo, but natively
Just Australia.
just Australia, in my opinion. So he was asked how he was able to note so many details of the creature in such a short space of time and in the dark because it was late. And McDaniel said that I have a photostatic memory. And this particular kind of quote sort of diminished the sighting for me personally because when this guy was like, I have a photostatic memory, it's already kind of looking shaky. Like what does that even mean?
Yeah, like you just want to respond, or do you now?
Yeah, right.
Right?
And then he recalled that the creature's body was almost like a human's body. He said some school children told him that they had seen a similar creature at the school ballpark. So I wasn't able to find anything about no school children
But I
sighting.
want I want other sightings from adults.
So we'll have something.
Okay.
We're gonna have some more sightings here. Uh, and then he said his line: "If they do find it, they will find more than one, and they won't be from this planet. I can tell you that." And that's basically it. That's what I have from this newspaper.
And you mentioned that he saw that creature again, or that was it.
So yeah, I'm gonna walk you through it. We're gonna actually come up now on his second sighting. So Henry McDaniel has actually made the sighting again 1 week later. So we're gonna kind of get into it.
1 week later, okay. So within the
Sorry,
same
2 weeks.
area.
2 weeks later. 2 weeks later.
Within the same area, or in
Yeah,
his
yeah,
house
yeah,
or
yeah.
something.
Well, first of all, hold your horses, please. Let's look at some images. We have case images. I was able to find, and I think they're pretty easily findable on Google. I was able to like put forward some images from the actual crime scene or whatever. So tell me if you could see the images. Yeah, so this is the first one apparently. This is the house, the McDaniel's house. And it was apparently showing evidence of scratches on the screen. So as you can see, that little thing that's kind of hanging outside of the window of the
AC?
house,
It's
it's
an AC,
AC.
yeah.
Exactly, it's an AC. So I think the kids reported that the creature was first trying to rip out the AC or something like that. So that's interesting. And then we have another image of Henry McDaniels himself, where he was showing the doorstep where he spotted the monster. So he's just out and about, you know what I mean? Looks like a regular guy to me from the image. And then the last image is very interesting. There is some torn fabric on the door. I don't know. Could you describe what you're seeing there?
I could see Henry looking at his screen door.
Oh yeah, the screen door.
Yeah, and it's basically torn up. There's a bigger tear. It's kind of like a square-ish tear, and a little bit upwards, right in the center. Let's say at the center of the screen, there's a circular tear, which I don't know if the monster caused it or they did or something.
But someone did, right? So now we have to think: is Henry McDonald's completely lying about the whole ordeal here? Was this already how it was? I mean, if that was the case, then I mean, he would have to tell his kids to fake the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So is this just McDaniel's trying to get some fame here?
And the thing is, I don't know if it was already there before the monster. Because
Yeah.
I don't know what they're trying to show us here. Are they trying to show us the scratches on the door?
Yeah, that's apparently the damage that was done.
Oh, even the screen.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Okay, from the damage of the screen, it doesn't look like a small animal.
yeah. It looks like a pretty big tear.
Yeah, but I don't know how there were two, and one is kind of circular. You know what I mean?
Maybe just it happened that way.
I kind of, because if someone would scratch it or something would scratch it, you would see like literal scratches, no?
Yeah, these we don't see like those stereotypical like looking scratches. These are like round shape and
A square
a
shape.
square shape.
How do you think it happened? Maybe the monster like took a piece or something.
Maybe. I mean, I have no idea.
Because right now, I am not convinced an animal would do this.
Yeah, and I'm just assuming that this was the case, like that Henry McDaniel is not actually lying about this, because I'm thinking if he was lying, he would have to coerce his whole family to go with this lie,
Yeah, definitely.
and maybe he would do that, but I don't know.
But the thing is, you mentioned that his kids even saw the monster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, his kids
Also
saw
saw
it.
the monster.
Yeah,
Okay,
also saw the monster.
interesting. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. Because in my head, I was thinking like maybe they heard it, they heard scratches, but then Henry was the only one who've seen the monster.
No, the kids were like, something is trying to get inside. But the whole story kind of has a bit of a weird holes for me. Like, for example, okay, I think the generally accepted uh, line of thinking here, or like the report, this happened back in the 70s, so we don't have like the exact information. But I think the most generally accepted theory, or not theory, but like the line of events that happened is that first, Henry McDaniels and his wife, they came back home and their kids immediately ran to them and were like, "Something's trying to get inside the house." And then he kind of went out and saw the thing. But I'm thinking, how did they get into the house without themselves noticing a weird monster like kind of clawing at the house, right?
Right. Yeah. Actually, I
That,
have
that
nothing to
I mean,
add to that.
I'm thinking like, how did they go inside the house and they miss? I don't know. Maybe the house is like built in a way. Maybe they go through the
Yeah, we
back
don't
door.
have enough information about the
Yeah,
house.
but I'm just kind of putting out my thoughts here.
Yeah,
That
definitely.
that was pretty strange to me.
Hmm.
And now we have a neighbor of Henry McDaniel's, a little boy. I believe he was a 10-year-old boy named Greg Garrett who made a fake report. He made a fake statement. So this guy, Greg Garrett, well, he's not much of a guy back then. He was a 10-year-old boy. He claimed to have encountered the creature as well, but he claims that he had encountered the creature half an hour before McDaniel did, and that the creature had stepped on his feet and tore his tennis shoes to shreds. But later on, he told some university, the Western Illinois University, researchers that his report was actually a hoax and he was just trying to tease his neighbor Henry McDaniels and have fun with the news crews that were asking him questions.
Not cool, Greg. Not cool.
Why not? I thought it was pretty funny.
Well, for a 10-year-old, it's actually pretty cool.
It's pretty funny. I don't know. It seemed like this Greg kid had a lot of balls, even for like a 10-year-old kid, to kind of pull this one off. Because, he kind of made it more credible at the time and created more of a media frenzy. And now we finally jump to the second sighting of Henry McDaniel, the same guy. So apparently, 2 weeks later, on May 6th, he calls the radio station in Kokomo, Indiana. So it's a different state, it's Kokomo, but it's kind of close to Enfield, if you could imagine, right? So the radio station was called WWKI. I looked up this radio station. Apparently, it's the most listened to radio station in Kokomo, Indiana. And Kokomo, Indiana, I don't know if you can recall, but I remember this town. This town came up multiple times during the uh, what was that case again? Oh, I'm already forgetting about the case. The big case out of Indiana, the Delphi murder case. So Kokomo, Indiana came out multiple times because Kokomo was actually close to Delphi. And I think there were a lot of, not a lot, but there were some connections, like I believe some prior suspects were residing in Kokomo. And so, yeah, I'm just mentioning that I've heard about that city, that city. Basically, Henry McDowell makes a phone call on May 6th, which is 2 weeks later, to this radio station in Kokomo. And apparently, he says that he had seen the creature at 3 a.m. that particular morning on May 6th. So he has the sighting in the morning, and then in the afternoon, apparently, he calls the radio station to report the sighting. and he told the radio host that the creature was carefully moving across the trestles on the railroad tracks near McDaniel's house. I had no idea what these trestles mean, but I googled it, and apparently it's some sort of like these beams that keep railroad up. You know, when it goes over like a huge hole in the ground.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. I get it.
So Henry McDaniel said that I saw something moving out on the railroad track, and there it stood. I didn't shoot at it or anything. I started down the railroad track. It wasn't in a hurry or anything. So apparently, I liked how Henry McDaniel mentioned that he didn't shoot at the creature this time, because first time he just blasted on it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
far,
was it.
so far, I'm interested at how no one other than Henry was speaking up at that moment.
I love it. You know what I love it? I love how like you ask me something or like ask a question or mention something about something that I'm literally gonna bring up like in 2 seconds. Your timing is perfect here. Okay, so literally I have a next section that has
Okay, I could see it. The others see it as well. Okay,
yeah,
I get it.
it's so funny, dude, how like you have the best timing here. Anyways, yeah, so other people actually saw this thing as well. So after word of the Enfield horror had gotten around town and elsewhere in America, people began to flock to the small town of Enfield in hopes of seeing the thing for themselves. They were very enthusiastic, but they were also intrusive. This prompted the local sheriff, Roy Poshard Jr., to warn Henry McDaniels about keeping his mouth closed, or he would be forced to incarcerate him because his like bringing up of the case caused havoc for the little town.
Ah. Oh, well, to think of it, he was bringing tourism in.
Yeah. Over the next few months, the crowds began to grow larger. With the larger crowds came increased alarm among the citizens of Enfield because some of the people that were coming to town were actually not necessarily genuine monster hunters, but just like hunters and thrill seekers with guns that were kind of like boozed out.
Damn, this is such a good tourism idea.
I mean, 2 days after Henry McDaniels was interviewed on local radio, the local press reported that police had actually called to investigate reports of gunfire and arrested 5 young men out of town who had come to Enfield in order to photograph the creature, carrying shotguns and rifles for protection. The men having claimed to have sighted the creature. Now, the White County Sheriff, which, you know, this town is in the White County, I guess, so the Sheriff of White County, he dismissed these reports and he said that these monster hunters were actually exaggerating and they were just men who were out to drink and raise hell. He mentioned that the monster. Apparently, they only mentioned the monster only briefly during questioning, and the men were charged with hunting violations.
Okay, okay. Let me take it back. It's not a good tourism idea.
No, it's pretty terrible.
Because I was thinking, like, if Henry only started producing like keychains and plushies of that kind of monster, he would have sold a lot.
No, yeah, I would say you could monetize this back in the day for sure. So on Sunday, May 6th, actually, wait, May 6th, is this the same day when McDaniels called the radio station again? Wait, let me just check. Yeah. Oh, cool. So on the same day as McDaniel made his second sighting, Rick Rainbow. Oh, I get it now. I get what was happening. Okay. Dude, I need to read the story 2 times to kind of understand what's happening. So, Rick Rainbow. Okay, it's a cool name, first of all. Rick Rainbow.
I'd love to have that last name, honestly.
Rainbow. Rain Rainbow.
Rain Rainbow.
That would be pretty
Okay, that's
funny.
pretty weird.
This is the guy who was the director of the WWKI radio station Kokomo. So he actually went himself on May 6th, on the same day when Henry McDaniels called to report, his second sighting. Him and his boys from the radio station, you know what I mean? The radio boys, they went to Enfield and they were actually out there searching. They were searching the area, and apparently there were four people in total: Rick Rainbow and his three friends. And apparently they saw something weird. Rick saw something weird, dude. You know what Rick saw? Rick saw a 5.5 feet in height, 5.5 feet. So it's like you basically. Gray and stopped over. Wait,
Stooped.
yeah, gray and stooped over, running through the woods near an abandoned house. A creature. Okay, the entity moved with an unnatural speed and quickly vanished from the four-man sight. So it was just standing in an abandoned house. 5.5 feet creature.
That's really creepy.
And then it just, yeah, could you imagine?
Try to picture it.
I did. I found it weird. The entity moved with an unnatural speed and quickly vanished from the four-man sight.
So, 4 men.
Yeah. Other four-men saw it.
Okay, now
Saw
this
something.
makes it a little more credible.
Yeah, the radio station chief in Kokomo saw it as well.
Okay, actually, now I'm thinking about it. The fact that this creature could leap long distances could mean that it could have ran away immediately away from Enfield to somewhere else.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why no one ever saw it again.
Oh my goodness, your timing is so great because people saw it in other
Oh, come on, I hate this.
people saw it in other towns. Oh my, you need to do more, like you need to go over the notes. Or,
I think I would have to change my career into fortune telling at this point.
yeah. Well, I don't have
could
much
see into the future.
information, but apparently there were reports from nearby towns of seeing something similar.
You have to make me to stop making me look stupid.
Okay, on this,
I'm
I'm not
joking.
gonna
I'm
lie.
joking.
On this one, you look kind of.
I say one thing and then immediately. Oh,
Yeah.
that's not what that's not what happened.
That's not what. That's completely not what happened. Okay. Anyways, let me go back to Rick Rainbow a little bit. Apparently Rick Rainbow, the guy who runs the Kokomo radio station, right? So he did not have a near encounter. Like he saw the thing in a distance. We have to take it into account. It wasn't a distance, not like up close. But Rick Rainbow did something different though. He apparently pulled out some sort of a voice recorder from like the 70s or something, because this is happening in the 70s. So it's not, if he didn't pull out the phone, I mean, he probably had like some sort of a recorder type thingy, and he and his crew managed to actually tape record the monster's disturbing scream.
Do we have it?
No.
Oh.
Sorry. Sorry, we don't have it. Rick Rainbow claimed that the recording is of an eerie shriek as it ran away from them. And according to Wikipedia, Rick Rainbow and his friends also tried to shoot it. So they also shot at it. Classic. And that's pretty much it. And, after some time, I don't know exactly when, but this television personality, Lauren Coleman, I've actually seen him. I think I've seen this guy on some Bigfoot documentaries. He is a cryptologist, and I think he's like the front-running cryptologist in America. He's always on TV when someone's talking about Bigfoot.
So he believes in Bigfoot.
I think he believes in
Okay.
a lot of those, like, because cryptology in general, what it means is that they're basically trying to like disprove or prove the existence of animals or creatures that some people report, but they're never being officially discovered. So we're talking about Bigfoot, we're talking about Loch Ness Monster, we're talking about the Jersey Devil, we're talking about all these little like kind of monsters. Not sometimes they're big, apparently, big monsters that have not been scientifically proven to exist. So Lauren Coleman is like, one of the guys. And he also investigated this case, you know what I mean? It was big enough for him to kind of take a look at it. And Lorraine Coleman also heard the haunting cry of the creature while searching an area. So apparently he also heard it. But no, I kind of find it strange. It's like the ghost. What is it on YouTube?
Don't say the name. We don't want to make them lose their credibility or.
Oh come on! But okay, it's like most of these ghost hunters in general, when they go to like an abandoned house, they always hear something,
Of course.
and that's why I can't ever take them seriously, is because they always hear something. Like at least if they like made a few episodes where they find absolutely nothing, then those episodes when they would find something, it would be kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But they find evidence every single time, which I call complete BS. So I can't,
I mean,
I can't get behind that.
I'm hearing random things everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, so why I'm mentioning this is that this Lauren Coleman guy apparently also heard something in the area, but I feel like it could be like one of these cases where these people always find something strange. And he told the media that I traveled to Enfield, interviewed the witnesses, looked at the siding of the house the Enfield Monster had damaged, heard some strange screeching, banshee like sounds, and walked away bewildered. Lorraine Coleman, apparently, I'm not sure, but I think he may have heard the recording from Rick Rainbow. And I think he might have Rick Rainbow's recording. So I think there is a chance that this guy has Rick Rainbow's recording. I mean, what do you think about that, man?
I mean, I kind of hope it would have been shared,
Yeah.
so everyone who would hear it could give their opinion about it.
Yeah, I'd really like to hear it because it seems like the only physical like evidence ever. Well, that and I guess the damage on Henry's front door.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I wonder if maybe you will mention it in like 2 seconds, but I wonder if someone from the modern times, like recent times, ever saw it or heard about it.
No, no one really saw it. Not that I could think of. I didn't find this.
Yeah, because if you only like Google it, you would have had like additional information about the
Yeah.
additional sightings, right?
Oh yeah, that's for sure. So it was suggested that the creature may have been a kangaroo that had escaped from the nearby zoo, which would explain the 3 legs description, because the kangaroo's tails are actually long and they could sometimes look like the third leg, especially at night. Henry McDaniel was adamant that this was no kangaroo because he apparently owned one when he was serving in Australia. Following media coverage of the creature, an Ohio man contacted a local newspaper stating that the creature may have been his pet kangaroo, Macy, which had been lost or stolen a year previously, which kind of is bizarre.
Okay, so they meant like kangaroos who escaped or got stolen and they ran to the wild or something.
Yeah.
Never been found again.
Yeah. Would a kangaroo actually would would a kangaroo that was already held in captivity survive somewhere in Ohio/Illinois wilderness? I kind of find it hard to believe, right? Because aren't like domesticated like pet animals could like they're not able to live in the wilderness anymore, right?
Maybe for a short period of time they can.
But not for an entire year, as this guy claims.
Yeah, interesting. Yep.
But it is sad because Macy did apparently got stolen. Whatever happened to Macy? What do you think happened to Macy?
I mean, it could have been just Macy all along. Maybe.
I doubt it, man.
But the thing is, I'm just, once again, kangaroos are rare, let's say. because since they're
Yeah, you don't say.
rare in America, and
You
and
don't say.
no, I'm just trying to say like someone would have seen a kangaroo. It's not something you would see every day.
Yeah, and why in
You
Enfield?
you would notice it
Yeah, and then
basically.
you had to like travel across states without anyone previously mentioning, oh, there's just a
Oh, I
random.
found a kangaroo on the side of
Yeah,
the
just
road.
randomly.
Right?
Anyways, a few days after the event, United Press International quoted an anthropology student anthropology student who suggested that the creature may have been a wild ape, noting that such animals had been reported throughout the Mississippi area since 1941. So apparently there's some wild apes in Mississippi, which I can't confirm or not confirm. Like I have no idea. But strange that for some reason Mississippi specifically has wild apes.
Okay, I just have to say it again. Probably rare, probably
Well,
not as
I've
common. How come nobody ever saw it again? It had been
actually,
shot. It
actually,
hissed.
actually, could you pull up Mississippi wild apes?
Okay, I had to do a chat GPT on this. And no, there are no wild apes in Mississippi or anywhere else in the United States. Apes, which include species like gorillas, chimpanzees, and orangutans, are native to Africa and Southeast Asia. In the US, apes are typically found in zoos, wildlife sanctuaries, or research facilities.
How
Mississippi does, however, have wild mammals like raccoons, deer, black bears, as well as primates in captivity or sanctuaries.
how about kangaroos? Can you also ask Chat GPT about kangaroos? I mean, obviously, there won't be any kangaroos in America.
And no, there are kangaroos are not native to Mississippi or anywhere in the United States. Obviously, kangaroos are lives in Australia or nearby islands. However, kangaroos might be seen in zoos, wildlife parks, or private exotic animal farms in Mississippi. Interestingly, there have been rare reports of escaped kangaroos in various parts of the US, including the South, but these are isolated incidents involving privately owned animals. Like Macy.
So yeah, like Macy. Okay, so now I want to kind of ask you, like, if first my first question to you, because I don't have any more information about the case. Do you think that Henry McDaniel actually saw something, or is he lying?
I would, at this point, I would like to believe him because,
Me too. I think he saw something.
yeah.
I just don't know what he saw,
Can you imagine how frustrating it is when you know what you saw? For
and no one
sure.
and no one believed you.
And no one believed you.
Actually, everyone believes him because everyone kind of came out there.
And not the police. The police were kind of pissed.
Yeah, the police were pissed, but it seems like a lot of people believed in him. But yeah, so I do think he saw something.
Or
He
no
was
one took him seriously enough.
yeah, he was like
Like the little 10-year-old boy.
he was a 50-year-old guy, antiques dealer, two kids, a wife. So he has a stable family life. And for him to just kind of come out here and start this whole charade, I feel, and he wasn't drunk. Remember, law enforcement said that he looked rational. So I think he did see something. What do you think?
Yes. Whatever it is, I don't know. Because if for
3 legs, short body, two little short arms, and two pink eyes as big as flashlights.
kangaroos, potentially.
You think so?
It kind of resembles a kangaroo, sure. I mean, compared to any other animals, probably a
Four-
bear? No?
It stood 4.5 feet tall and was grayish colored, almost like a human body. So he did see something weird. Like
Bear
it's
with a
weird-
disease. I'm so sorry. I just have to say that.
What?
Could be a bear with a skin disease.
A bear with a skin disease?
It sounds so stupid, but maybe yeah.
Okay. I never heard about that
Yeah.
type of.
But anyways, so sorry. Whatever he saw could be a wild animal, or it could not be. I just don't get the fact that he shot at it, he hissed, so clearly it was hit, but it managed to run away.
Yeah, it did like 50 feet in 3 jumps, which is not natural. It's unhuman speed. So something was there, apparently, unless he's lying. And the footprints, apparently, they found footprints that had 6 toes. What's that all about? Six
But
toes?
it wasn't noted that it was massive.
The footprints? I think they said that it was like a dog's footprints, just 6 toes. Yeah.
Yeah, this one's pretty weird because it could have been just a dog.
Yeah, right?
Dog prints,
But
basically.
with 6 foot though. Sorry, 6 paws. No, 6 toes. What am I saying here? Anyways, the one thing I found kind of weird about it is that yeah, someone did ask some good questions in the media. They were like, "Yo, Henry, how were you able to get all of these details? The 3 legs, pink eyeballs, or whatever, like this and that, right? In the dark and in such a short period of time." And he was like, "I have photostatic memory."
That's actually pretty funny.
That's like
If a person tells you that, just don't
somehow
believe them.
yeah, just somehow for me that, oh, I have photostatic memory, like just somehow like this. Maybe I'm just jealous.
Maybe.
Maybe I'm just jealous
No, I
that
don't
I don't
know.
have it.
I,
But
I don't know. For me, I'd be like, yep, okay, time to wrap up. Goodbye.
yeah, for me also something about that is that, like, I don't know. Then we have this picture of his door, which is kind of messed up. It is messed up, and it is a picture of Henry's door being messed up. I don't know what that means, right? So that's kind of weird. And multiple other sightings. So the only other kind of credible sighting I would say is maybe like that Rick Rainbow sighting, where they apparently recorded some stuff. But even Rick Rainbow's sighting was like from a distance. And oh, by the way, Henry McDaniel saw it again 2 weeks later. This time, apparently, he didn't shoot at it or anything like that, but he saw it twice. So Henry saw it twice. You know what? Just because he saw it, why Henry? Like the town had 700 people living there, and Henry's the one making these sightings. So now I'm thinking it's a Henry problem. You know?
Yeah, I also can't get over the fact that the
Maybe it's a
footprints.
Henry problem.
Yeah, but the footprints were like smaller,
Yeah.
but it was human-like. It was tall.
It wasn't that tall. It was standing up at 5 foot
My height.
5, standing up. So when
Oh,
it's down, you know what I mean? There's a big dog that could stand up like that.
true.
You know what I mean? Like a very big dog would also stand up at that height. So it's not I
Also,
wouldn't say
it wasn't like that.
it wasn't humongous.
Okay. I was imagining a humongous monster with like small footprints, which is pretty weird to me.
Yeah, so some people apparently also theorized that this could be actually the Mount Vernon creature.
Okay, what is that?
The Mount Vernon creature was a string of similar sightings that happened between 1941 and 1942, so 30 years prior, in the small village of Mount Vernon, which is apparently less than 40 miles away from Enfield. Okay. And these encounters involved a mysterious leaping beast that terrorized the local people and is supposedly responsible for numerous animals. This area around Mount Vernon was still pretty wild and somewhat remote. As the article tells the tale, when the preacher was stalking the woods, a large animal that looked something like a baboon jumped out of a tree near him. The preacher struck at the beast with his gun barrel when it walked toward him in an upright position. He finally frightened it away by firing a couple of shots into the air. Later, the beast began to alarm rural people by uttering terrorizing screams, mostly at night, in the wooded bottom lands along the creeks. Oh my goodness, an ad. Sorry. School children in the rural districts sometimes heard it too, and hunters saw its tracks. But early spring of 1942, the animal had local people aroused to a fighting pitch. About that time, a farmer near Bonnie reported that the beast had killed his dog. A call went out for volunteers to join the mass hunt to round up the animal. Something crazy was happening back there in Mount Vernon. The beast must have got news of the big hunt, for reports started coming in of its appearance in other creek bottoms, some as much as 40 to 50 miles from the original site. So a man driving near the Big Muddy River in Jackson County one night saw the beast himself bound across the road. Some hunters saw evidence of its presence away over in Ocave, which apparently is a city of Ocave or something like that. Its rapid changing form place to place changing from place to place must have been aided considerably by its ability to jump. From by this time, reports had it jumping along as far as 20 to 40 feet per leap. And this is the connecting factor, man. It's like close by and it's also doing massive jumps. And it's like a baboon like thing. And it's kind of close. And
So
it's
you
in
think it's
Illinois.
connected?
No, but I mean, at this point, is there a chance that there's some weird, rare, unidentified species in southern Illinois of like kind of weird animals that kind of jump around a lot?
I mean, I guess at this point in time, we would have known about it.
Or maybe it's extinct already. Maybe it was already going extinct and now it's completely gone. You know? I doubt it though. I think there's nothing there. No, well, come on, we're not wrapping up.
Okay.
We still have to say goodbye to the listeners.
Of course.
And we're not even done with this podcast. Well, honestly, I don't have any more to kind of share about this one, this case. So overall, what do you think? Like your kind of verdict?
Once again, I want to believe, but it's so hard to believe.
What makes you hard? What makes it hard for you to believe?
The fact that, well, everything basically.
I mean,
Especially the photostatic memory.
Henry did see something.
Yeah, I would try to believe Henry.
Well,
That's
well,
why.
Well, what did he see though?
Yeah.
I think Henry saw something. I believe that Henry saw something.
It's hard to believe, but I would try to because it seems like he actually saw something.
Yeah, I think he saw something.
He convinced me that he did see something.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Whatever he saw, or if it's an alien, if it's a wild animal, if it's a human dressed up as something, I have no idea.
Yeah, me neither. I would say at this point, yeah, probably enough
Speculating.
speculating here
Yeah.
because I think, yeah, not a lot of information. Very wild case, not our usual topics. But we're trying to do all kinds of stuff here on the podcast now. I think this was a bit long. I don't know how long we have been going for. The idea was to kind of keep them longer now, have a more casual discussion. So I hope that's something that people enjoy. And yeah, man, I mean,
Let us know what you think.
let us know what you think, guys. I think next week we'll already have a case for the podcast.
Can you give us a little bit of an insight?
No, I don't want to because I'm not sure if we're gonna go down with that one per se. But it looks like we're gonna be talking about some more classic topics, more like classic things. It's a real human mystery. You know what I mean? Someone I think went missing or was murdered. I can't exactly recall the specifics of that case that we want to be doing for next week. But we're gonna be jumping back to maybe some more classic topics. Let me know, guys, what do you think about the Enfield Monster topic? And we'll jump to the next one. See you soon, guys. Bye.
Bye.